Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I've had maybe like 2 weeks off, I think, just because I have been so busy with work and everything. So yeah, I thought I'd come on here and do a Q&A, so anything related to nutrition, fitness, or anything to do with my qualifications or just me in general, whatever. So if this is something you're interested in, then tune in. And yeah, this will be a nice and short and sweet, so grab a cuppa and yeah. Okay, so question 1 is how do you, I wasn't too sure which, so I answer both. How did you start learning about healthy living and nutrition? So personally for me, I did a HND, which is a diploma in fitness, health and exercise, so that's how I got more background of it. But if you are just, a person that isn't really interested in fitness but obviously want to learn how to become healthier and, have a healthier lifestyle and things like that, best thing to do is follow accounts that cover a lot of that basis, but, don't try and avoid the accounts that have like fad diets and things like that, as there's a big difference in that one. So just research it for yourself. There's a lot of free courses on just like healthy living and basic nutrition. So if you're wanting to just learn it just so you can improve your nutrition, like have a bit of background, then I can't remember what it's called, but I will pop the link down below of where there is I know there's free courses and they are brilliant, so highly recommend doing them. Okay, so I've just had a wee look and it's called Future Learn. So Future Learn is like an online company. They do like courses that you can pay for, but they do have free courses. I think they have one based on nutrition, so if you're interested in that, then go ahead, because they have ones from like universities in Australia, universities in America, all around the world. So yeah, it's really interesting actually. So I did a course with Future Learn called Food and Mood, Improving Mental Health Through Diet and Nutrition, and I loved it. It was really good, and also it's free, so you can't really go wrong. Okay, so moving on to question 2 now. So question 2 is any good non-dairy proteins you recommend? Now, the only non-dairy protein that I have tried and I've really liked is My Protein. They do a really nice vegan protein. I just get the normal vegan protein as it has everything in it. So some pea and soy proteins don't have the exact ingredients that normal protein has. So the vegan protein is really good and it's got all the ingredients that should be in it, but it just doesn't have dairy in it. So I have tried the strawberry and the chocolate one. The chocolate ones, I'm not a huge fan of it. I'd probably give it a good 5 out of 10, just because it doesn't really taste like chocolate. It's like really, basically you can tell that it's plant-based. It's not got like a nice taste to it, but the strawberry tastes like Angel Delight. So if you like Angel Delight, then have a wee look at that one. And I think they're only like, I want to say about £7 per bag, and you can buy like small ones. So if you want to try them online, then go for it. Question 3 is what do you think of the government's plan to have calories on menus? No, don't even get me started on this. This, I think, is probably the worst idea that like anyone's ever come up with. Like, to this day, that's probably the worst thing I've heard. So for people who have had eating disorders and body dysmorphia, and just generally, people that haven't suffered with that, and I think when you go out for a meal, you're ready to enjoy whatever you want. Okay, it's like a treat, so you're like, oh, you know what, if you want to get that, get it. But I think the fact of having calories on each one is going to stop people from going out to dinner so much, or stop having that enjoyment and that luxury of getting what you want. And you'll have more of a guilt naturally, because you'll be like, oh god, that's really high in calories, I can't eat that, or whatever it may be. I know, I think it's definitely such a bad idea for not only people who have suffered from body dysmorphia and eating disorders, but for generally a lot of people. I know that even when I go out for dinner, I like to get what I want. I don't go for the healthier option because I'm not out for dinner a lot, so like I'm not gonna get, you know, something that I don't really want and I'm not gonna be happy with. I'll just go for something that I want at that point. I don't think of the calories. So yeah, overall I don't really agree with that. I think it's just going to cause a lot of damage. Question 4 is, are you able to grow your glutes without using weights? So yes, you are. Using resistance bands, I'll actually show you the ones that I've got. So these are the ones that I've got. You get a set of 3. Let me just, yeah. A set of 3, so you get a light, a medium and a high. I just got these ones. They were pretty cheap. They were like maybe about £5 from USA Pro. You don't need expensive ones. As long as they're material, then they're really, really good. You'll find that the material ones are a lot stronger than the plastic, like rubbery ones. So yes, you can grow your glutes without using weights to an extent, but in the long run you will have to start to include and incorporate some weight into your exercises in order to grow your glutes further. But as a beginner, you will 100% see a difference over a period of time to grow your glutes with some bands. So yeah, I will pop the link down below just if you guys want to buy those bands since they're really cheap. So number 5 is, have you got any advice on bad bloating? Now, I've had quite bad bloating in the past, so I kind of know roughly what to do. So depends how badly you get it. A lot of the time you can feel intolerant to foods. I'm not intolerant to anything. I've not checked to the doctors, but like I've kind of tested things out myself to see what makes me feel bloated. And a lot of products, like dairy products for example, make you feel very bloated. And obviously foods that are high in saturated fats and things like that. You'll find that if you eat a bit healthier, so a bit more well balanced, you'll find that you'll get bloated, you know, not as easily. Generally stuff with a lot of sugars and that kind of thing will make you feel a bit bloated. See what kind of foods that is triggering your bloating. It's different with everyone, you know, girls, they get on periods, and generally anyone else eats it, like whatever they eat could make them feel bloated. So yeah, if you do feel bloated after something, then you can write it down and then have it again and see if it's that, or if it's not, then test other things out as well. If it is getting really bad, then you can always go to the doctors and go to the GP and see if you're intolerant to anything, as a lot of bloating does actually lead to your intolerance to something. So question number 6 is, what exercise do you recommend for growing your glutes? So, I mean the list could go on, but the ones that I would recommend to you is frog pumps, hip thrusts, single leg hip thrusts, sumo deadlifts, and curtsy lunges. There's a good few for you that you can use to start off. Question number 7. How much protein is a normal amount for women? Now, protein completely varies depending on, you know, your weight, your age, what your goal is, and everything like that. It just totally depends. But on average for a sedentary woman, it is about 46 grams of protein per day, and that is for someone who is very inactive. So if you're active, it is higher, but yeah, I would actually check because every single person is different. There's no specific amount you should be having, as it all depends on many variables. So for example, if you want to build muscle, you'll have a higher amount of protein than someone who isn't wanting to build muscle. Now, moving on to question 8. How long have you been qualified and how did you get there? So I've been qualified just over 2 years now. So I did a HND, which is a higher national diploma in fitness, health and exercise, which I studied in City of Glasgow College, which was really good. So I did that, and in the first year you get your level 2, which is fitness instructing, and the second year you get your level 3 personal training. So yeah, that's how I got there. And when I left college, I started my own business. So yeah, here I am. Question number 9 is, what do you think of what I eat in a day vlogs? Personally, I mean, I don't post what I eat in a day, that kind of thing, because I think you never know how other people are feeling or how it can affect them. And I think it can negatively affect a lot of people just because, you know, they'll compare and be like, oh, why I should be eating that, when it's not the case whatsoever. You know, someone with a different goal is going to be eating differently to someone, you know, with another goal. So if someone's losing weight and someone's gaining weight, like, they're two complete different ways of eating. So in that sense, they'll both be very well balanced, but one will have more protein than the other, or one might have more carbs than the other, or whatever it may be, they'll incorporate a bit more than the other diet. So generally, I find that a lot of people tend to compare what they eat to someone else, and that's when it becomes unhealthy. So no, I personally wouldn't post what I eat in a day vlogs. I'll post maybe like an idea of a meal. I will never really support putting up what I eat in a day. So moving on to question 10, nearly there guys, nearly there. What do you think of the new show on Channel 4 with Michael Mosley? I did a post on Instagram, was it last week? Yeah, but last week, no, this week, losing track of days. And I watched about 10 minutes of it, and I couldn't watch any more because it just was absolutely shocking that it's allowed to be aired, and that advice is given to not only adults but people who are in the younger audience, adolescents, people who are age 13 could be watching that. And I think that's one thing that they've probably not thought about, so I highly disagree with it. I think it is beyond ridiculous, and it's just only going to cause problems rather than resolving anything. It's not worth watching. I think you should, if any ads come up of it or if people are advertising it, I think you should unfollow that person if it's damaging you or if it's giving you an unhealthy way of thinking towards food and your weight. We've all got to remember that we have been in lockdown, so we didn't have the gym, we didn't have, you know, you could only go out once a day, so you didn't have your daily amount of exercise as much as you wanted to have it. So of course a lot of people aren't going to be the same way as they were, but it's important how you just slowly incorporate and make sure that you're just living a healthier lifestyle in the sense that you're enjoying it, rather than recommending rapid weight loss, because it's just not, it's not realistic, and it's just not healthy for your mind and physically. So yeah, I think it is a load of rubbish. Okay guys, so that is me done today's Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it. I just did 10 questions because any more than that I think it would be a bit much. So I shall be back next week on Saturday as usual. Yeah, I hope you have a fab day, and thank you so much for watching.